Hi. War with Iran. Britain's involved. Do we want war with Iran? Who wants war with Iran? How will a war with Iran help Britain? Has Iran attacked Britain? Has Iran done anything at all whatsoever to Britain? No. Why are we engaged in hostilities with Iran? The reason why is because the Zionists want it, because it's part of the Greater Israel Project, because it was what was prophesied by the Pentagon, wasn't it? We've all seen it. Yeah, there's going to be a war with Iraq and Afghanistan. It's going to start with Afghanistan, then it's going to be Iraq, then Libya, Syria. Last on the list was Iran. The Zionists want it. So they're going to prod and prod and prod till they get it. The Zionists wanted war with Iraq. It's all part of the Greater Israel Project. The Zionists want Brexit. Go and check out Tommy Robinson. The whole lot of the EDL movement, all there with their Zionist flags. Go and check the Tories. All there with their Zionist flag. Boris Johnson, the Zionist flag in his office, bragging with Netanyahu about how the Balfour Agreement was signed in that very office, at this very desk. They've even kept the bloody desk. You know, the school I went to doesn't even exist anymore, but by golly they made sure they kept their Balfour's desk, haven't they? They hang on to history like nobody's business, while they demolish ours, while they wash away down the drain the lives of men like my granddad, who gave their lives for this country, the people who suffered through 2 world wars, everything they fought for, everything that the technology even that they've contributed to develop, that they come along, these supreme supremacists. Yeah, it's all ours, it's ours. Thank you, we'll have that. Right, we'll get rid of you lot, because actually we can replace you all with robots. Really well, enjoy your robot hell, you set of absolute morons. But even more of a set of absolute morons are the people of Earth, if you're prepared to tolerate it. If the people of Britain, if you're prepared to stand by silently now, like you did with Iraq, like you've done watching the disabled and the sick get driven to suicide, while you've watched the workforce be reduced to queuing up outside food banks, while they're on their 0-hour contracts. Exactly what the people of post-World War II Britain moved to end. Except there was no contract. Why do you think you have to sign the contract? Because what you're signing away are your workers' rights. You're saying, I agree to work for you and forgo all my rights, in return for the pittance of a wage that you'll give me, that I won't even be able to live on, because I'll have to go to the government to ask the government to subsidise. The government's going to subsidise my wage. Seriously. And then suddenly the government decides, no, actually we're not going to subsidise your wage. Actually, we're not even going to give you any social security. You don't need social security. It's all the bankers. We need social security. The only ever social security we ever have is knowing that the public have no rights whatsoever, the vast majority of them, and they're going to live in poverty. They're going to be in poverty, and that means you're nobody, because you take away your money and your car and your house. That's it. You're nobody. You want to vote? Have you got an address? Can you afford the ID? In America, that's how it is. And now they want to drag us into war with Iran. And are we going to accept it? Just like we've swallowed this absolute scandal and actually yet another terrorist act of this government. They are terrorists, and now they're going to install buffoon of the century, Boris Johnson, at number 10. Oh my gosh, and before he even gets in there, he's threatening to shut down Parliament, basically mirroring Trump. Oh my gosh, the Zionists and sadists among them must be having a supreme laugh as the supreme supremacists of Earth. And are we going to swallow it? Are you going to swallow the camel, people? You've all strained at the gnat. You've got your Brexit, apparently, allegedly. We voted for it, didn't we? Did we? Did we really? I don't trust any election that's took place in this country since Thatcher. And now they want to drag us into war with Iran. So, you know, expect China to show its claws on this now. Russia. Oh, by the way, Russia kept you warm this last winter, Britain. Theresa May, after she'd expelled 23 Russian diplomats, you know, had to beg Putin for some gas. Yeah, so expect to freeze this winter, but you won't mind, will you, British people? Because you're all very quiet, aren't you? You're very good at condemning each other and even your own children. Picking fault, effing and blinding it at each other for this and for that. But you're just going to swallow this, aren't you? Are you? Are we? Well, I'm not swallowing it. I'm being force-fed. I'm being force-fed it. Okay? And it's a painful process. Being fed shite against your will. When actually your whole will is about everything that this is not. When my will that I work to enforce every day is about the total opposite of this madness. And the people are out there sharing it, the sense and the sanity, amid the din of crazy. You know, the crazy gets the media spotlight, don't they? There you go, Boris Johnson, he's the good crazy. Who's the bad crazy? No. Now we're going to war with Iran. So, this is why the men and women of Britain as parents produce young sons, isn't it? Produce their lovely babies, baby boys and girls. Oh, yes, give them to the government. There's no jobs actually, there's no opportunities for you except the army. Come and join the army. Get British. Get patriotic. Patriotic for what? What? Patriotic towards the concentration camp? Because that's basically what Britain is going to become. A constant, and it already is actually, but it's going to get very, very badly worse. A concentration camp of poverty. That's your Victorian Britain that the Tories have repeatedly stated they want to get back to. People seem to think they was joking. But hey, we're halfway to the last mile of it. The people are there on the 0-hour contracts. Oh, but except you won't need to sign a contract. Once you've got no human rights and no workers' rights anyway, there'll be no need for contracts. That's just how it was in Victorian Britain. You turn up to work. Oh yeah, I need you today, right? Yeah, bog off. I don't need you for the next week, actually. Well, what am I going to do? How am I going to feed my family? Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's where you're heading back to, Britain. Except, oh, there'll be no workhouse, factory, prison. The Zionists want war with Iran. And they do hate the people of Britain, these Zionists, because the people of Britain, by majority, like the people of most of Europe, support Palestinians' human rights. And today, Israel has been there, the Zionists has been there, stealing yet more land, evicting people openly, but nobody's paying any attention because, you know, they feed even off their own crimes. While everybody's focusing on what appears now to be Mossad-controlled intelligent asset Jeffrey Epstein, they're there stealing Palestinians' homes, terrorising people. And that's what this government has done. It has terrorised people abroad and it's terrorised the people of Britain. Economic terrorism has killed 120,000 people of Britain. Britain seems oblivious to it. Apparently that's okay. As I say, go and check how many Pinochet killed. Oh, but it's not the same. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is exactly the same. It has the same results. And the point of the result was about power and control and keeping it in the hands of the criminal bankers and financiers of London, and that's what Brexit's about. Exactly that. It's not about anything else, it is about that. That's why they dumped it on us. And divided society with it. Look, you're talking about a weapon here. Brexit was a bomb. And now we've got Boris Johnson, and now we're going to be having a war with Iran. And why? What is this about, people? Stop and think about it, because you brought these children into this world, and you, as parents, uncles, aunties, you need to stand up for them. And if you can't, we'll wave goodbye to your species, because I tell you, there is no future. You're talking about extinction, because this is the cancerous consciousness. Are there any living cells out there that are prepared just to do it and forget about the egotisms and who, oh, I'm wonderful, I'm the leader of the revolution. Forget it. We're all the leaders of the revolution, and that's one thing everybody's going to understand. We are equal. We don't need no more of this celebrity garbage. It's time just to get human and recognise each other as universal beings. And step right out of this madness. Rise up, for goodness sake. Rise up into your universal being, people, and connect with yourself. And hey, that's where you'll find Jesus.